We are looking at Karina's Story of Place. Great introduction here. San Francisco treat, giants, Karina's name. And as we start to go through, let's see what happens. Starts off with a little bit of narrative here telling us this summer she had a family member who was visiting for a couple of weeks, huge baseball fan, and they traveled to 3 states, watched 5 Major League Baseball games and 1 minor league game. AT&T Park was the first stop on the tour. I was so fascinated by its location, I decided to document it. So as we look through, I think this is a real nice presentation. It's nice and simple. I like that you have a pano at the very bottom, kind of unifying those top images in how we're viewing them. And remember, you guys, if you click on these, they go large. And you can click through and see all of the detail. And when you get to the end of that set, you have to click out of it. And then you go down and you read about the next set of images. She talks about the entrances and the views from the different entrances. One of the things I really like that she's doing is she's getting up high and looking down. It's important to always give your viewers something varied to look at. So if everything's at street level, that's one thing, but getting up high is a good thing. One little nitpicky thing, I wish he was back a step so that we had his feet here. And I would probably clone him out if I had him in this picture. So I'd clone it out, or I just have waited for another moment. And this one is working well. So nice view. Great sense of the city from the stadium. And we can click out of that again. Nice view looking down the dock towards the stadium, and you can see it's AT&T Park. Nice shot of the boats in the city. Dramatic sky you had back there. And some nice shots going on here. Next up, wow, look at all the people. Very cool Coca-Cola piece there. You get a sense of the whole place, and then that it just sits right on the water. Absolutely incredible. The trolley in the park. Great shot. Oh, I love that glove over there too. What a fantastic stadium. Important to note, she has AT&T Park over on the side, Coors Light. You can see the baseball player. The bottom of the diamond is included. It's not cropped off. Very important. Nice straight line running down there. Great shot. This is a beautiful photograph. Get a little sense of the people and some of the food. You talked about how expensive the food was. I might have included a little shot with that. But yum, nothing like going to a stadium and eating. Always good. Nice photographs. And then onto the pano. Nice work. So one thing I want to say is that in the beginning, I was thinking when I'm reading this, I'm going to get to see a variety of different stadiums. And I'm guessing you shot them all and maybe you'll add them. I would like to see that. I think this is a great depiction of the AT&T Park. And I might rewrite that so that you didn't give us the expectation that we might see some other parks. But it is a great story. So just add to it. Nice work. Appreciate. So we're looking at Lee's work. It is the Cuisine Project. She gathered work from the entire summer and put them in here. So we're picks 1 through 3. We're back in May when they went to Lake Havasu. We went to Black Bear Diner. And she goes through and talks about what she had here. So, Black Bear Diner. Let's open that up into Photoshop. There we go. Nice and crisp. Fairly appetizing. Some chicken fingers. What are those? 1 through 3. Anyways, we have Black Bear Diners in Vegas as well, so I always enjoy their biscuits and eggs. fairly straightforward. It's about the food here. I want you to start thinking too, showing us a little bit about the place, okay? You start to get that with the little Black Bear Diner flag. I love that. The plates, but what does the restaurant look like? What were your servers like? What were the kids doing eating the food? So cuisine doesn't just have to be shots of the food. Think about showing us the experience of the location. However, I always like a good shot of food as well. But think broader. Next up, we've got this little guy, and that one was Downtown Disney. Oh, that makes sense. It looks like little Mickey Mouses. Cake pops, apple candy, red velvet cupcakes. Yum. Number 5 is a cookie from Northridge Mall. Gyro from Magic Mountain. Number 9. So I would work a little bit on color correcting these. They seem to all have a yellowish tinge to them. And a lot of times the yellow, but it's like a yellow-blue. It's a little off. So I would think about how to, make a correction to that. Let's open this one and see. So if I grab that tool here, so it's kind of neutralizing the color cast, I can add a little bit of vibrance into it. Add a little bit of black into it, a little bit of white into it. So we went from this, which is actually more green, to this. Okay? Not quite as appetizing, a little bit more appetizing. Think about doing a little bit more color correcting to these. I'm going to hit done. It'll save that correction. And I can do the same thing with this one. So once again, just come up here into Photoshop. We are in Adobe Camera Raw. I'm going to grab the white eyedropper tool and I'm going to click around. Wow, already, so from this to this, it neutralized this quite a bit. I might go over here to the temperature slider, put a little bit more warmth in there. I'm looking at my histogram, so I'm going to push a little bit of black down, add a little bit more white into there. And then let's see what happens. Might darken down the shadows a little bit. Add a little bit more vibrance. And we go from this to this. So come join me for some more Photoshop and we'll dial this all in for you. Okay? So I think that's all these really need to take it to the next level. A little bit more color correction. Keep going. I love these Disney things, by the way. Let's do one of these too. Click. And what I'm looking for with the white balance is something that I know that's a neutral color. So something I know that's going to be white or gray. If there's no value to it, like up here, well, I was thinking that was going to be blown out. It actually looks better down here. But notice as I click around, I'm getting different looks. That's okay. I'm going to add some vibrance in here because I think it should be a little redder. I can even come over here to hue and saturation. Go to saturation and pump up just the reds. Ooh, the oranges a little bit. And I can change the hue if I wanted to. So on this image, we've gone from this to this. Yummy. Okay, so you see some things we can do to make these more delectable, and let's make it happen. We are now looking at Chandra's work. I would like to see your name here on this start page, but I love the type that you have going, Boulder City, and more than just a blip on the map. So that's a great start. I love this beginning image. So let's start scrolling through. We get the welcome to historic Boulder City, and then you start to narrate us through what we're looking at. They say a picture is worth 1,000 words. My goal is to entice you to want to visit the almost forgotten little town called Boulder City. The presentation, I'm just going to flip through real quick, you can see is pretty consistent. So image, caption, which is really nice. Let's go back up here and take a closer look. The images are gorgeous. The toning that you're doing to these is sucking us in, and great composition here. So I love the color in this first one. And this is gorgeous as well. So when we click on these, they do go large. And we can get a sense. Oh, I see lots of dust when I go large. You might want to work on cleaning that up. Never put out your not pristine work. So with this, you can't click through to the next one because each one is an individual image. So you have to close it. So you open them and close them. And I do see it in here. Let's see here as we go through. One of the really cool things are the bighorn sheep that you find all along, well, in many places in Boulder City. So I think that was fantastic that you have such up-close shots of these guys. Nice interactions. Depth of field is definitely working here. The tonality, the color that you've got going, nice and consistent through the whole presentation. Looking good. And then you talk about the historic homes of Boulder City. So we've gone from the scenics to the sheep, a little wildlife, and now we're getting closer to the city. We're in the neighborhoods, showing us a little bit of the different architecture. And letting us know that these were from 1930s. Now we're down on Main Street. It has a quaint small town feel with the antique shops. Quirky and eclectic outdoor decor. So you're giving us enough information, not too much information. It's descriptive, and it works in telling the whole story. Nice shot here. And then we get to go into the world-famous Coffee Cup Cafe. And I love how you included that it was on Food Network's diners, drive-ins, and dives. And I will agree with you, it is definitely worth stopping by. Breakfast, and then, so you did this in a fantastic way. You showed us the place, and then you showed us some of the food. That looks good. And then a little bit of quirkiness. We got our flying saucer, Area 52. And then some dinosaurs, so it is truly quirky. I did not know that this monster museum was there. How have I missed that? So I'm going to definitely want to go check that out. And then all aboard the Nevada Railroad Museum. I love railroad museums, as do many people. And then we have Southern Nevada Veterans Memorial Cemetery, the Veterans Memorial Park, baseball fields, dog runs, skate parks, playgrounds, fishing pond. So you're telling us what we can expect to find there. Good job. And then this reminded you of Stonehenge. I love that, but not sure of the meaning behind it, but it's still beautiful. Exactly. And who knows, maybe you could go and do a little research and find out what this does represent. But it's not necessary. And then a fantastic evening shot. So you basically used everything we did all semester in this series of images. And it's beautiful, well done, well laid out, nicely done. So we're looking at John Woodbury's Wow Beyond the Postcard to finish up the semester for him. His captions here are really strong. Maine is well known for its scenic coastline and lighthouses. Portland has 6 lighthouses within 20 minutes of the city. Here are 3 of my favorites. Portland Head Lighthouse, Ram Island Ledge Lighthouse, and Spring Point Ledge Lighthouse. I've always been fascinated with lighthouses and always search them out whenever I'm traveling coastal communities. Maine's oldest lighthouse, the Portland Head Light, situated on the spectacular shores of Fort Williams Park, Cape Elizabeth, Maine. Height 80 feet. Construction started 1787. Nice historical bit of information, tells a little bit about John's interest in the lighthouses, and I think that's working. I have to just tell you a funny little story. I have a friend that is a professional photographer, and he loves lighthouses as well. And he goes to those Art in the Park events and sells his lighthouse photographs. Not one lighthouse is straight. So, I don't know how they sell. But these are straight and they look absolutely gorgeous. This one is Ram Island Ledge Light, Casco Bay, Maine, height 77 feet, opened in 1905. And then the last one is Spring Point Ledge Lighthouse, South Portland, Maine, height 54 feet, and I can't read the bottom of it. I would have to open that differently. So let's just take a look at these 3 images. Okay, so quite beautiful, telling, draws you in. It's just a well-composed, well-made photograph. Same here. And here as well. So obviously a point for tourists to visit, and you get a sense of them in here as well. I love the 3 variations. I mean, all 3 of these are drastically different looking lighthouses. And I would love to see your full collection, John. Maybe you should do a Spark page on lighthouses.